my arms and like twist his nipples. I'm like, what is this? What is this? I honestly feel like people were just trying me because they knew it was my first day. I am so surprised that I went back after all of this happened in just my first day. Hello, my name is TyJeara. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, and if you're not new, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a story time on my first time ever stripping in Atlanta. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you aren't subscribed, subscribe. The first day that I ever danced in Atlanta was September 21st, 2020, right in the beginning of the pandemic. It wasn't really the smartest idea. So I was supposed to start dancing like a week before that, but that's a whole nother story in itself. But basically 2 weeks before the actual day of me starting to dance, I got my heels from Looks of Atlanta, some expensive heels. I should have got them secondhand. I got some hair from the beauty supply store, a wig, and I installed it myself. I got some lashes from the beauty supply store, and I got some fake nails from the beauty supply store that I glued onto my own nails. My toes I did myself. So the day that we decided to go and dance, we decided to go during the day so that I could work all through the day. And we got there around, I don't remember what time we got there. I think it was like 2 p.m. Right before we went to the club, my sister has been working at this club for like a year. My sister told me that when I go up there, make sure that I am dressed to be hired, because the plan was for me to get hired and dance in that same day. So when I walked in there, I saw two men at the desk. He knew my sister, he didn't really know me, but my sister, well, I asked, could I go to the back and talk to the house mom, because she was the one that was going to hire me. So I went to the back, I talked to her, I was like, hey, I'm here to be hired. She asked me a few questions, don't remember what she asked specifically. I signed some paperwork that I like wrote my name and the date and some other stuff. And she also gave me a list of rules. If I can find the rules in my phone, then I will put them up on the screen. After I got the rules and filled out some paperwork and showed her my ID, and she like wrote down my information, I went back to the front, gave them my tip out, came back, gave her my $10 tip out, and I have to fill out another form of paper that I fill out every day that I work, with my legal name and my dance name. Speaking of dance names, my name was Saturn. I wanted it to be Venus, but I was like, I feel like there's so many girls with the name Venus, and then I couldn't think of another name, and I was like, I just need something. I was like, if I hate it, I could just think of something else later, but I just needed something for that moment, and I had to think of something that wasn't already taken. I thought of another name in that moment, but those names were taken, so I was like, you know what, Saturn. I liked it for like a split second, didn't like it that long. So I went to the back after I paid my tip out. I got dressed to dance. I was kind of procrastinating. We went out onto the floor. It was pretty dead, which I expected. It was kind of earlier in the day, like 2 p.m. like I said. We walked to the side of the club, and my sister's friend was like, hey, that guy over there keeps on looking at you. I'm like, who? I don't know if he's looking at me. I was just very shy, very nervous. Like, I don't mind going and talking to people, but since it was like my first day, which is like, I shouldn't have been nervous if I want to do stuff like this. I don't mind going up and talking to people, but the whole anticipation of them wanting to see my bottom jiggle, I'm like, I can't really dance, but you know, fun. So I ended up walking over there with my friend. She said hey, I said hey. We started to talk, she ended up walking away. So this guy, his name is Jay. So Jay, he was cool. He was telling me his whole life story, which I assumed. A lot of people say that when you work in the strip club, you're like a therapist to a lot of people. A therapist, a best friend, a person for them to lean on, basically. So he was just talking to me. He bought me a drink. He ended up getting a few dances from me. I honestly could have went longer, but my legs started to shake. Like, I could feel myself shaking. I was like, okay, I need to take a break. And then it's like, if I had stronger legs, I could have kept on going. And then also, he's the one that asked me, hey, how many songs was that? I could have lied. I could have said like 2 more dances. Also, the club that I worked at, it was $5 a dance, and we do not get nude on the floor. So he was telling me, when I took a break from my legs shaking, he was telling me about his girlfriend and his mom, and how he's from out of state, and that he was just here to help his mom with like his mom's house, and how he has his own business, which I feel like majority of people that I talk to talk about how they have their own business. And I feel like some of them are lying. I'm sure some of them are telling the truth, but I'm like, yeah, really? Oh my gosh, oh my god, really? That is so cool. I'm like, I don't care, I just want your money. But this moment is like, in this moment, I didn't really mind to hear about his life story, because I'm like, this is the first guy that I dancing for, and then he doesn't really creep me out, and he is spending money on me, he bought me a drink, and all that great stuff in life. So he ended up leaving the club. He was like, okay, I'm about to go. I was like, okay, bye. See you next time, I guess. The next person that I danced for, I ended up walking around. It was a whole bunch of walking around because I'm too scared to go up to people and ask them for a dance, because I know people are like, oh, a lot of the time, a lot of days, you're gonna have to go out of your way to talk and ask people if they want to dance and get to know people. Not everyone's gonna want to approach you, because some guys are shy, or some guys, they just don't want to. They want to be approached. Next guy, I walked up to them. It was two men sitting down, and I was nervous. Like, I was nervous this entire day, so I don't need to keep on saying that. But I walked up to them. One of them didn't speak English, and the other one did. The one that didn't speak English wanted me to give him a dance. The guy that did speak English was like translating for us. So I started to dance for him. I felt so awkward because where he was sitting was so low. The first guy that I danced for, he was like on these high chairs where it's like, oh, I could just, if I did lean on you, it's like I'm still standing up. But it's like, I don't really know how to dance standing in place. And I know it's not a good thing to do, and I know some clubs don't allow you to touch, but it's like I usually would just end up sitting on their lap and, you know, doing my little dancey dance. So I was like sitting on his lap doing my little dancey dance, and he kept on humping me. So yeah, he kept on doing all that. I think he got like 2 or 3 songs, and my sister came over, danced for the other guy during like my last song that I was dancing for, and then I ended up walking away. I ended up sitting down on my phone, chilling. I was like, there's not really that many people in here. I'm just gonna chill. So as the night started to get a little bit busier, I noticed a lot of men that I saw. The first time that I ever been to this club, I didn't dance. It was for my sister's birthday, so I just came in there just so show some support, because my sister's birthday is in August, and I started dancing in September. And I also wanted to go because I was like, oh, I might dance at this club, because I was serving, and the restaurant that I was working at was very slow. So anyways, I saw a lot of guys that day that I started dancing that I saw when I first came on my sister's birthday. I assumed that they worked there, but they don't. They're just regulars. I was like, damn, I'm already seeing who the regulars are. I walked up to the bar, and there's one guy that I remember seeing for my sister's birthday. He tried to offer me drugs. Very fun, very nice. Don't know what the drug was. I said, no, thank you. I don't do drugs, which is true. And I definitely don't want a drug that's just sitting, chilling in the palm of your hand. This could be aspirin, or this could be my death. I don't want to find out either way. So that was an experience. Another guy that I remember seeing from the first day, hopefully this all makes sense, but another guy that I saw from the first day that I came there, he asked me for a dance. He wasn't trying to pay for a private room. There was like so many things that it's like I knew about the private rooms, but I didn't really know the details about it, and I was nervous to go in there. I was like, I don't want to go in there for my first day. Don't want to do it. But it's like he ended up wanting to have a little bit of privacy, and the way that the private room was set up was a curtain, and then you had like 2 booths that's like you walk around the backs, and then you can sit there, but then there's space in the middle, and there's like 2 poles, if that makes sense. Poles, there's like space, and then like 2 booths, but he didn't pay for like the booth or anything, so he just brought a chair back there, and he wanted me to dance. I was like, sure, I guess. Another thing that happened with that, we were dancing, he wanted me to count out the songs. Like if a song ends, I'd be like, okay, this is the second song, and he'd be like, okay. So I guess he could decide whenever he wants to stop. But he wanted me to pinch his nipples. I don't know why I did it. I should have charged him more, like, hey, if you want me to be doing all this extraness for you, you need to give me some more money, because I'm like, I'm not about to be doing all this. But it's like, that's how I am now. That's how I am now. If I would go to the club and someone's like, oh, I want you to do this, I'm like, no. But back then, I was just like, F it. I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. But the way that he wanted me to do it, I'm like, sir, he wanted me to like cross my arms and like twist his nipples. I'm like, what is this? What is this? What is this? I'm not judging people that like that, but I'm like, I'm not I'm not she. I'm like, good for the guys that want to go out and put themselves out there and meet women in the club, but I'm like, a lot of the people in the club aren't interested in dating you. They aren't interested in being like that intimate with you, especially if you're not spending that much money. I also noticed that there was girls doing it in the club. So that was just not a very fun experience. I mean, I wasn't like, oh, I'm traumatized. Only thing that I'm upset with myself is that I should have asked for more money. That's about it. After that, I saw him a few hours later, and he went to another dance, but it was out in public, and he only did it for like half a song. And I was like by the stage twerking, half a song. He threw like $6 on the stage, and like I picked it up and just got on. As the night was going on, I got another dance from this other guy. He pulled me to the side, and I feel like every guy that I met, except for the first guy, just was annoying or weird. And it's like, well, not every guy, because there were some guys that were like pretty chill. But it's like this next guy that I danced for, he asked me to come to him. I danced for him, and I could feel him pull out his pee-pee. Didn't know what it was at first. I don't know how I did not know. It was like I was getting hot, I was getting sweaty, I wasn't thinking about it. I feel like I let too many things go past me. I feel like that's the only advice that I could give someone that's like, I can understand why someone's not like bold enough to tell people like, no, or you need to tip me more for that, or I'm just not dealing with this, or stop, or stuff like that. But it's like, I just let a lot of things just slip and slide. So, you know, pulled his pee-pee. I didn't, oh, well, the reason why I eventually knew that it was out, because I felt wetness on my leg. I should have got security, or I don't know what I should have did. Like, I'm not upset about it, but I'm like, that's just so nasty. I'm like, sir, what is this? What is this? But it's my fault for being on people. Well, I'm not even about to blame myself for that experience, but I'm like, it's just so nasty. I'm about to go past that before I throw up. I feel like there's people here and there, because I don't know how to dance standing up, so I was mostly dancing on people. I could feel people getting, you know, very, very exciting. I didn't get on stage yet. Oh no, I did get on stage, because I noticed that there was no one on the stage. So I got up there, wiped it all down, wiped the pole, stood up. I was like, I'm too high. I have stage fright. My heels make me feel higher. I can see everybody in this. I don't want to be up here. So I got down, and that was that. I didn't really have a problem twerking on. They have like these little platforms where it's like, it's not really like as high as the stage, but it is like maybe like a, why am I doing like this? But it's like, it's about like maybe like 2 feet, if that, off the ground. So I was mostly like dancing on that, twerking on that. There were some people that will like throw money on me. Don't remember how much it was specifically, but that was about that. The night started to get even busier. I don't remember what day this was. I think it was like a Tuesday. Yeah, it was a Tuesday. So it was pretty busy for a Tuesday. I met this one guy. He came into town for, don't remember what it was for, but he was pretty cool. I sat next to him because it was getting busy, and I was just like sitting. He was like on some steps that go into a private room, but there's basically just space for me to sit. So I sat down next to him. His name also started with a J. He was pretty chill. He seemed nice. He didn't really give me the creep vibes. He claims that he didn't really go in there that often, which it kind of made me feel like that, like they were just like going to the club, like they not in here trying to find love or trying to like take someone out the club or be with someone or try to in the private room. You know, he seemed pretty chill in my opinion, but you know, you never really know people. Not in this instance, but I'm just saying in general. So sat next to him. He ended up buying me a drink. We drank. Then he asked me for a dance after we drank our drink. So I sat down on him. Very fun. And I started dancing. But the reason why I'm talking about him, because I don't like the way that he was like tipping me, because it's $5 per dance, right? I mean, $5 per song. So he was like dropping his little ones out of his little, he had like a hoodie on out of his little pocket, just like, He wasn't shaking like that, but I'm like, well, he was shaking like that at one point, but so it was like I was because in my head I was thinking, I'm like, okay, so I'm about to get $5 per song, and then this on the floor is just the tip. But I was like, you know what, F it, it's fine. So I ended up picking up all the money because look, I didn't dance for long, and I'm like, this looks about the same amount of money that I would get, you know? So I counted the money. I noticed that he was like, I think like $7 short, but I was like, F it. You know what? F it. He ended up getting my number because I need to get like a WhatsApp number so I can give that to people, because I'm like, not all these people need to be having my number, or I need to charge people for my number. But he was pretty chill. My sister danced for his friend. They wanted us to hang out another time. We never hung out with them. Plus, I'm like, you didn't even tip me correctly. I don't want to hang out with you. So I met another guy. I did not dance for any women. I didn't really go up to any women, and no women were like trying to get a dance for me. Not saying it's a bad thing or a good thing, just like a thing to tell. So anyways, back to what I was originally saying. I met a guy. He was pretty cool. I danced for him for like 2 songs, and then he was trying to like hint at wanting to go into the private room. He was like, you want some privacy? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, what do you mean? No, I want some privacy. And then he would like hint at it, and then he was like, how much is the private rooms? I'm like, I don't know. It's my first day. I don't know. I could have went and asked, but I'm like, I don't want to be in. I know. I don't want to be in private for what? It's like, oh, I could charge more and I can get nude, but I'm like, I don't want to do it. Not on my first day. Every time that I've been to a club, I've never been nude anyways. I took off my top, but I had pasties on, so I've never been full nude. No matter what club that I worked at, never been nude. I wouldn't mind to get nude, but it's like my opinion. I'm like, there's not enough money for me to be getting nude. Sorry. And I also wasn't putting in the effort to get money, so that's another thing. Also, for my first day, my sister's roommate at the time had guy friends, and he's a guy too. They were like, we're gonna come out for your first day. So the day that they came out, I met one of his guy friends. His name is D. It doesn't really matter for these people to have names, but it's like, I feel like to follow along with the story, I'd rather say the name instead of this guy every time that there is like a new guy. So anyways, my sister's roommate friend named D, he came out. He came to support. He decided that he wanted to dance for me. This was our first time meeting, so I got a dance from him. I got like 2 separate dances from him throughout the night, but the first dance, he did not pay me enough. I'm like, this is not enough. I feel like he miscounted, but it's like I wasn't aggressive enough to tell people like, hey, you owe me money. You missed this, you know, like you owe me money. Like, you missed a song. I danced for you for 5 songs. You owe me $25. It was more than this, because it was more than that. So it was like, I was kind of irritated, like, ew. But I was like, you know, genuine mistake. I kept on giving people the benefit of the doubt. I was like, this is a genuine mistake, it's fine. Later on, I also danced for him again, and I was telling like my sister, I was like, he didn't pay me enough. And he came up to me later on. He was like, oh, my bad. Which is like, I should have told him, but I was being scary. He was like, oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I didn't realize. I thought that you danced for this amount of songs, but I wasn't really like, my bad. So anyways, I gave him another dance because he was like, he tipped me. Well, he gave me the money that he already owed me, and then he also tipped me. And then I gave him another dance. And this man, like, he knew of me before he met me, but I'm like, sir. He was kissing me on my back. I'm like, why? I did not say nothing. I should have said something. Didn't say anything. It was nasty. I didn't like it. He could have sworn that I was feeling him. I'm like, I do not want you. I don't want anybody in this club. Like, I don't understand what people don't comprehend. That is like, a lot of strippers do not want you. They want your money. Like, huh? They think, oh, I can take you out of this club. I could show you a good life. I could take you around the world, make you see things that you never saw before, and then tip you $7. Like, boy, what is this? What is this? There were some people that were chill. I would go up to them, dance for them, they pay me, I get on. Like, I think that's one of the things that I like that I didn't do, was that I did not chill with people after the dance was done. I'm like, I'm about to leave. This one guy, he tipped me to dance for his friend. I was very nervous. I kept on saying, and I'm glad that the song that came on when I went up to there, I was like, okay, I'm about to dance to the next song, because that song took forever. So if I would have started dancing on that song, I would have felt like I'm not getting my money's worth. Cause I'm like, what is this? Also, the DJ, I feel like his remixes sometimes were like making the song like twice as long. I'm like, these songs on average are like 3 minutes. Why is this song almost 7 minutes? No, we ended up going to the back. We stayed there until they closed. I think they closed between 2 and 4. Don't remember. I think they ended up closing early. I don't remember what time they closed, but I know that we stayed there till closing. We got dressed, and that was about it. We went home. It was very late. I was ready to go to sleep. It was I made my tip out back. Don't remember how much specifically that I made, but I know for sure I made my tip out back, which was $45 plus 10 for the house mom. So I made at least $55, but I know that I made way more than that based off how busy it was and the amount of people that I spoke to. So that was my experience on my first day dancing at a strip club. It was a bikini bar in Atlanta. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you aren't subscribed, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.